Hello? Am I live now? Oh, sorry. Okay, guys, I was waiting for a signal. Hey, I'm very glad to be here. Let me share my screen because I'm also doing a presentation. Okay, let's start. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm here as a developer advocacy and evangelist in OutSystems, and I'm going to speak about the OutSystems low code and low code in general, and to give you the perspective of a career with no limits in terms of developing software. So let's start. In OutSystems, it all began in 2001 when we had an idea to follow, which was to create a visual development platform where it is easy and fast and cheap to change software and keep delivering it. This was a problem back then because all the IT projects were taking too long and people were following the waterfall model, and it took too much time for organizations to react to the competition and to be innovative. So we decided to pursue this idea. It all started in a small basement in Linda Velha back then, and now fast forwarding, today we are considered a top leader in low code. With a global footprint, we are present in 60 countries with more than 390 global partners developing in OutSystems, ranging over 22 industries, and we have a large community with more than 270,000 members. We have thousands of happy customers all around the world, so I'm not going to advertise about OutSystems, going directly to the challenge. So what is the challenge of software development that we are trying to solve? Well, digital transformation is the adoption of a new and fast digital technology to solve problems. And this will allowing companies to innovate their business models while ensuring awesome customer experiences and efficient operations. So this is a must nowadays if organizations want to beat the competition and be on top of the business, right? But there are a lot of massive barriers that the enterprise needs to face nowadays to pursue the digital transformation. And just to give you an idea, there's the growing project backlogs that keeps piling up on the organization ITs. It's overwhelming. They cannot cope with all the demand for new applications and all the digitalization process. And actually, 80% of the time and budget of organizations is spent on keeping the lights on. So it's difficult to innovate. And also, there's a scarcity of all required skills to cope with all the technologies and all the aspects of developing software in multi-experience channels and so on and so forth. So why is application development so hard? Just to sum up, you need to multiply the number of platforms that you need to use, different stacks, different development stacks, different channels and supporting platforms, iOS, Android, .NET, etc. We are living in the world of data, big data. There's more and more data to be processed and coming from different vendors, different databases, database models, and others. We have a lot of technology to support CSS, Reactive, HTML5, Cordova, Internet of Things. Well, a bunch of technologies to bundle. What about integrations? We are in the API world, and integration is key. And to worsen everything, how fast are those variables changing? So we are facing a more demands and much more faster change nowadays. So everyone is struggling. For one side, companies keep asking, do I have to hire so many specialists to cover all the required skills? And of course, developers are also struggling. Do I need to master so many skills? So this is what we intend to change. And the main cause for this is the fact that the software industry has been the most manual industry in the world. Even though we are in the technology area, this is strange because there's a lot of manual handicraft stuff that a developer needs to pursue in order to compose an application. And this is exactly what we are trying to change, because we perceive application developers as creative people that nowadays don't have the right tools to be fast enough and to cope with the business and customer needs. So low code is exactly about applying automation to software delivery. But the idea is not to replace humans by machines or by some automatic artifact, because actually we need to better utilize the human genius and initiative and innovation to fulfill the needs of the market, right? So our main goal is to empower people, to give them the right tool set that will allow them to become superheroes that can actually deliver value to customers, users, with amazing customer experiences, with effective operations, and with the capacity to respond to time to market and to innovate. And this is a major aspect that we are pursuing, because that's exactly what we believe we need to evolve application developers to a new stage where people are not simply seen as these technical nerds that are always occupied pursuing a lot of details, technical details in different technologies in order to create a business solution that is required. But they need to be perceived as these superheroes that can solve real problems and that can be immersed into the business processes in a much more efficient way. So to explain how is this automation pursued with low-code platforms, let's take a look at the full process of delivering an application. There are a number of places where automation technology can be leveraged to accelerate the process and, of course, reduce human error. So we need to start with an infrastructure, and actually infrastructure as a service came first in the automation process of provisioning a server. So you simply click in a button in some service provider and a machine image is created running in the cloud instantly. So this accelerates drastically the projects. Now, the second step was also to accelerate the installation or the delivery of an application stack where you can build your application. So on top of the infrastructure, PaaS vendors also automatize the delivery of an application stack. You click on a button and you get the full application stack running in the cloud with web servers, application servers, middleware, databases, etc. Of course, you still have to code the application that is going to run on that stack. Now, before we go into the application development, which is the bigger slice, let me jump directly to the end. So on the other end of the lifecycle, the DevOps vendors tackle the automatization of all the stuff that needs to happen after you code the application, scanning the application, testing, deploying, and all the aspects to actually deliver the application to end users. But of course, the longest piece of the application development process has not been touched by these different automation technologies. And this is where low code comes in. Low code uses automation technology to write the code for an application after a developer has designed it in a visual modeling interface. So rephrasing this, the developer simply designed the concepts in a visual development environment, and then the automatization will generate efficient code and drastically accelerating. And when I say generate efficient code, it's and gluing all the required technologies. So we can be speaking about generating server-side code, client-side code that runs on your mobile device, plus all the database scripts that operates the data in the databases, and so on and so forth. But these aspects are removed from the developer, and the developer will be focused on designing the application concepts. Okay? So a full-blown low-code platform will include the entire life cycle. So the optimization of infrastructure, of the platform stack, the development environment itself, and the deployment, the DevOps operations, right? If you look at what the experts are saying, well, plus than 25% of multi-channel apps at large enterprises will be built through a multi-experience development platform by 2023. So it's right next in time, right? And of course, OutSystems is considered a top leader in multi-experience development platform, because that's what we do. We do a platform that can generate code for different touch points and for different types of experience, as I will show. Another interesting prediction is that 65% of all software development will include low code by 2024. So this is just to give an idea of the importance that low code is getting in the industry, right? Just to finalize this part of the presentation, just to summarize, OutSystems Low Code Development Platform so includes a visual full stack development. You can get an application really fast by visually designing all the aspects of an application: screens, UI, processes, business logic, data. You can deploy to any touch point, being it a web, reactive web, mobile, or some voice assistant with bots. And of course, it follows the full life cycle. So it's not only about development, it accelerates the full life cycles, creating, deploying, and monitoring, which is very important, because the life cycle of an application does not end when it's delivered into production. You still need to monitor and have efficient ways to do it, and you need to manage the entire infrastructure. Okay, demo time. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to develop an application in OutSystems, and hopefully give you some insights of the entire process, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build an application, a mobile application, much similar to an Instagram application, where we can share photos. And hopefully, I hope you guys will try to use the application, because the application will go live, actually will go live. And you can try the application and we can share some photos. Since we cannot enjoy our live presence, at least we can try to share some photos. Okay? I hope you can hear.
And now I'm going to start a new application. I have all sorts of applications, but I'm going to create a phone application. I give it a name and a description, and I'm going to upload an icon to associate with my application. The color palette will be created from the uploaded icon, but it could be customized. The application is now being created, and we can start adding modules to it. I'm just creating a phone app type of module with the suggested name. What you see now is my visual canvas and all the tools required to draw my application. The first thing I'm going to do is to add dependencies to existing modules that will provide me reusable services. I need the camera plugin to take pictures of my mobile device. I just need the API. And I will use OutSystems, a service that will store the application posts on the cloud. With this visual tool, I can design the application processes, UI, business logic, and data. From the toolbar, I'm going to drag my first screen. There is a catalog of pre-built screen templates for different use cases, I will just pick a blank screen. Let me give it a meaningful name. This will be my home screen. And I believe it's appropriate to set the title to Reboot the World. This screen will list the existing posts, so let me check the available data from the OutSystems service. I can drag the post entity into my screen to get a listing of the available posts. This listing can now be customized at will in a WYSIWYG fashion. I will start by removing this useless information and now change the way each post is presented. I don't want the picture to have this circle style, so I will simply remove it. And the picture is the most important element of this application, so I want it to fill the screen. The data is the secondary information here, so I will reduce the size of the font. And now that I have my picture listing done as I want it, I'm going to publish this to the server and create the first version of the application. First, the application definition is uploaded. Then is compiled to generate optimized code and the database script, and finally is deployed on the web server. And it's done. The first version of the Campus Party application is now available on the server. Now it's time to distribute the application so you can try it on your phone. You can generate an iOS or an Android app to place on the respective store, or you can generate a progressive web app taking advantage of Internet browser's latest standards that supports device connectivity. The advantage of a progressive web app is that the distribution is immediate without the long process of publishing it in a store. After generating the distribution QR code, I am going to read the QR code in my mobile phone. Once the application is loaded for the first time, an option is presented to add the Campus Party application to the main screen. I click on it, I confirm my intent, and I log in into the application. I'm running inside the QR code reader app, so let me close it. And now I have a new application icon. Let me open it. I'm already logged in. I can browse the existing pictures. And before I invite you to try the application with your own mobile phones, let me develop the missing features before distributing a new version. Let's open the query that is fetching data to the home screen. You can see a preview of the data in development time. And now I need to add extra information to check if the user already put a like in a post. So I need to add the post like table to the sources of my query, and a join condition has been added between post and post like. Since I don't want to restrict only to posts with post like, I will change to posts with or without post like. Since I only want to check if the current user liked the post, I will add to the join condition that the user that liked the post must be the current user. Now I have enough information to display my screen whether a user liked or not a post. From the toolbar, I'm going to search an icon, drag it to where I want to place it on the screen, and I will search for a heart to represent that the user liked the post. It's too big, I'm going to decrease the size, change its color, I'll pick it from the suggested application palette, and I'm going to place the icon inside an if, because I just want to display it if the user actually liked the post. Let me set the condition to check if the user actually likes the current post. I have all the required context in this expression editor. And for the else branch, that is, if the user did not like the post yet, I'm going to pick a different icon, which will be an empty heart. Let me also reduce the size. And now to preserve the WYSIWYG of the display, I'm going to hide the false branch. Next, I'm going to link the entire if to an action. So whenever the user clicks on either heart, it will toggle the like of the post. Opening the new action, the logic flow is still empty. Let me give a meaningful name to this action. I will call it toggle like. And now I need to run a server action to toggle the like of this post. Let me resort to the Instagram core API, and there is an action to toggle to like. Now I need to fill in the input parameters. Let me get the ID of the user in session and the ID of the current post. And since I made changes on the server side, I need to refresh my query to reflect those changes. Going back to my screen, I also want to show how many likes each post has. Instead of implementing it directly on the screen, I'm going to divide and conquer, creating a different block just to display the number of likes of a post. I'm going to call this block show likes, and I'm going to add as parameter the ID of a post. I will be solving a smaller problem and creating a reusable screen block. I have to fetch the data to display the number of likes of a post, looking for data. So I'm going to drag the post-like entity to my query. I just want the likes of the given post ID, so I need to add a filter. Post-like post ID equals to my input post ID. And now back to the display. I'm going to drag an expression to show the number of likes. And the expression is simply the count of records fetched, which represents the number of likes for that post. I'm going to put here a sample value to preserve the WYSIWYG, and now adding the fixed text. Going back to my home screen, I can drag my show likes block to where I want to display it. Putting a separation space here. I need to fill the input of this block with the current post ID. And finally, I'm going to implement the last feature, which is to take and post photos. I'm going to place an icon in the header of the screen. Let me look for a camera. And now link the camera to a new screen where the user can post a new picture taken in his mobile phone. I will use an empty screen. Let's call it upload picture. And now I'm adding a local variable to store the picture. The embedded AI always suggests the data type, and a second variable to store the post description. Now I'm going to add an onInitialize event to bootstrap the camera plugin. I need to run a client-side action from the camera plugin module to check if the camera is available. Getting rid of this comment. Next, I'm going to add an if to test the output of the camera check. Placing here in the condition the output of the previous call. Swapping the branches of this if. And if the camera is not available, I want to send a message back to the user saying no camera available. Ending this branch here. On the other branch, if the camera is available, I want to run a client action to take a picture. Now I just need to store the picture on the local variable that I create for that purpose. Now the screen, set the title to upload picture. And now I'm going to create a form to edit this post. I drag the picture to the form and the description. Change the level of the set button to upload. It could be post. Opening the action associated to this button. And now I'm going to run a server action from the Instagram core API to post my picture. I need to fill in the inputs, the user ID doing the post, the picture, and the description. And now to finish this flow, I need to send the user back to the home where the new post will be shown. We are done. We can publish and test this new version. I leave you the QR code for those who want to try the application. Please feel free to follow it. I'm going to refresh the screen on my mobile device, and I see that the application has been updated. I'm going to click on the art to like and dislike this picture, and you can see that the count is updated accordingly. I'm going to click on the camera to take a new picture, and the device native controls kick in to give me the choice to take a picture, make a video, or upload a file. Taking the picture, accepting, and here is the upload picture screen. Writing a description, submitting, and here you have it, a new post on the list.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed the demo. And of course, now you can, I'll leave the QR code here on this corner, so you can experiment the application and feel free to share some images. At least we give a human touch to this remote event. Just to finish, let me explain a little bit how you can start learning low code in OutSystems. For starters, we have two sessions this afternoon. One is about our education programs by Inês Barros, enabling every student to develop software with OutSystems. And we have a second session that will be repeated tomorrow, and you should follow the instructions, because this is something, an exercise that you can try by yourself. You have a link that will take you to the exercise guide that have all the instructions for you to try with OutSystems, and then you have this opportunity to talk with Rui Barbosa, which is an expert, just with any question that you have regarding the exercise itself or regarding OutSystems. Okay, so I really invite you to go to these sessions. And of course, you can always go to our website and outsystems.com, and you have a start free, or you can even follow the get started with a lot of instructions how to start learning and experimenting. You will get a free edition of the platform that will allow you to implement your own applications. And that concludes my presentation today. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope this was enlightening for you guys that never heard about low code and learn about this automatization of application development that is taken in place with low code platforms. I'm open to questions. So while we are waiting, just a reminder that you can follow the link, the QR code. I'm just checking if there's already new pictures coming. There's one from Paulo Moreira, but no picture. So what I've just shown you was how easy it is to create a mobile application. Of course, you can as easily create a web application. The paradigm is the same. You have the same type of development environment, which means that you don't need to learn different skills for different channels. And as you can see, there's no need to know about native mobile development or web development. Well, you need to have some knowledge, because, for instance, when you're customizing the look and feel, you can always put some CSS elements, but most of the operations are handled with the WYSIWYG editor. Okay, so I guess there are no questions. I can end up here, and thank you very much for this opportunity, and I hope this was enlightening for you guys.